everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Sharon. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
We are fantastic.
I'm Jana Matthews, for those that don't know me.
I'm Melinda Romero.
And we're with the Grace Company.
Yes.
And we're joined here by Sharon, who is So Silly by Sharon. I just love hearing about all your fun stuff, Sharon, that you're working on out there. I love following your Facebook and hearing all those amazing things.
Yes.
Well, our Facebook group, you'll probably see a lot of people that are making quilts and actually using this 19X Elite in the store and today.
Ooh. Oh, great.
Awesome.
It's one of the things we're going to talk about today, yeah.
Yes. Excuse
So you
me.
got a tickle in your throat.
I did. You know, the 19X Elite, hands down, is my favorite machine. So if we barely just step aside, just to give you guys a quick glimpse, I'm short. I'm like I'm over 5'2", but I'm under 5'3", so I'm a shorty. You know, the 21X Elite, it's about as tall as I am. 19X Elite's a little bit shorter, the 16X Elite just a little bit taller. You know, I don't like the feeling of being intimidated by a machine. These are powerful machines. They can do a lot of work very quickly. So hands down, you know, my favorite is the 19X Elite.
Yeah, so we're so happy that everybody could join us today. We're going to be going over the Elite machines. We're going to be talking about some amazing bundles, doing some fantastic giveaways. We just want to say hello to everybody that's here. So you'll see my computer over here. I'm going to be running some computer stuff as we go along. So if you see me head over here, then that probably means I'm going to pop something up. So first, we just want to say hi to everybody that's here watching, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or you're watching on our platform.
Yes.
We have Jeanette, hello at Grace Company, at Jana, at Melinda, at So Silly by Sharon.
Yes.
I love all those ads.
Jeanette Yeager, you know, she's phenomenal. We see her with so many of our lives, and you know, it's a testament. You know, when you have a good product and people want to follow and just be involved, the quilting community is fabulous. So thanks for joining us, Jeanette.
We have Joanna Hoffman. Hello, ladies.
Hi, Joanna.
Jennifer Hoffman from St. Peter's. Welcome.
Who else? Oh, yes.
Patty Ree from Arizona. Tree Chickens, hi from Arkansas. And Deanna Feldman, welcome.
From Houston. You know, we're going to be in Houston in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So we'll
move this a little closer.
Be at a business-to-business event, International Quilt Market. The next few days after that starts International Quilt Festival. So Deanna, you're in the Houston area, stop by our booth. You know, come
see
say
us, yeah.
hi. And Jennifer Hoffman, I will be with Sharon at, correct me if I get this wrong, Sharon, but it's the So Creative Quilt Guild event there in St. Peter's. Next month, so November 23rd and 24th. So Jennifer, come on down. Yep.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Come on down and test drive the what we have in the booth. Come say hi. Would love to see you.
So Diana Griesinger is here. And Paula Becker, hello, hello.
Paula's another one. You know, and I
Yeah.
saw a comment from Jeanette, you know, yes, love Grace products. And, you know, Paula Becker, the same. You know, we love our followers and we love introducing our followers to our dealers, you know, so it's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so one of the giveaways we're giving away today, I want to go over to that after we've welcomed everybody in. We're going to do our 10-foot luminous light bar. Now, if you haven't had a chance to look at this light bar, play with it, see it, it's so much fun. LED light, 6,500 wattage hours.
And it's a true white bright. It's not going to cast any shadows. It's just that true color. I'd compare it, very similar to being outside on a bright sunny day. It's the perfect light, whether you're sewing, quilting, crafting. I love our lights.
I like it too that the 10-foot light bar, you can do it at 10 foot. You can extend it just a little bit to 11. You can make it 8. You can make it 6. So, I mean, it's fantastic.
Down to 5?
Down to 5, yeah. Now, if we were giving away just the 5 foot, it's only 5 and 6. It doesn't do all
Yes.
these other sizes. So that's why we give away the 10, then everybody, whatever your quilting space
Love that
is.
versatility with it.
Yeah, we're also going to be giving away the Quilters Combo. This is a fantastic True Cut section. Now, people have asked why True Cut. It's the more easy, more accurate, more safe way to cut. This is the most popular combo that we have available. The ruler is 6.5 by 24.5. The comfort cutter is the 45 size. That can be switched to left or right-handed. If you see there that little white section with the True Cut over the top, that actually comes out, so you can put your own documentation there, put your name, put some fabric, put a picture, so everybody knows it's just your comfort cutter. And then the True Grips are available to put underneath there. I love using the True Grips for more than just quilting.
Yes.
But yes, they're a fun thing. Have you had a chance to use any of the True Grips or True Cut product yet, Sharon?
Yes, I have. In fact, when we have quilt classes in our store, they're on all of our rulers. We usually try to provide all of that stuff because we deal with beginners mostly.
Yeah.
We try to have all of the rulers and cutting implements here, and the True Grips are definitely great, especially for beginners, to keep that ruler from sliding around. So yeah, we use them all the time.
I had one person tell me one time that every time they were at a class, this one teacher, she would fine them $1 if they didn't close and put the guard on it. She's like, it didn't take me very long before I was always putting that guard on. She's like, it took me about $5.
Yeah. And I love the Quilters Combo. I, hands down, just like Janice said, it's our #1 True Cut selling item. But you get so much with it. You get the foundation of True Cut, where you're starting with the True Grips. True Grips go in the back of the ruler. The comfort cutter, or even the straight cutter, has the guide that will interlock on the ruler. So again, it's safe, easy, accurate cuts every time. If you're on the fence, so many people will look at the cutter and immediately they think, oh, I have to buy all these additional rulers and change everything out. Our cutters work with any ruler that's out there, but it's the guide that works exclusively with our rulers. So when you buy or receive the Quilters Combo, you're getting everything you need to get started. And then down the road, you can always add any ruler, any of our rulers. So we have square rulers, rectangle rulers, triangle rulers, so many different sizes to help everybody, finish their quilting projects, their cutting. Hands down, even with True Cut, hands down, I still think cutting is the worst part about quilting. But True Cut makes it easier.
It makes it so much easier.
So much easier and safer. I was always the cutter. I would veer inwards. I've had close calls, with my fingers. I've nicked rulers. But we all know somebody who has done a number on their fingers, and it's dangerous. So just that ease.
Sharon, which one should we give away? Should we give away the light bar first, or should we give away the combo first?
I think we should do the combo first.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. So we have had this chosen by the website generator. This is for everybody that pre-registered for the event on our page. So if you ever want to be the one that wins a prize from Grace Company, just go to the events page, sign up for those events that we're having, like this with Social Silly by Sharon, and we'll be able to get you in the prize drawing. So, okay, we've got our giveaway, Quilters Combo giveaway, and if we can have a drum roll.
Liz McCarthy, congratulations. You're the winner of the Quilters Combo.
We have your information since you pre-registered, so we'll have Allegra reach out. And as a reminder, if Allegra ever emails you, it would be Allegra@GraceFrame. Let me pop that up there. Allegra@graceframe.com. She's our prize coordinator here at Grace Company, and so she will be the one reaching out. So if you get an email from her, it's legit, unless it doesn't look like this email. If it's like something from Gmail or anything like that, you just want to make sure you're safe from scammers and everything like that. So congratulations, Liz. That's so fantastic.
It is. You're going to love it.
You're going to love
Promise.
it. So we're going to talk about the
X series.
X series. So we're going to say bye to Sharon really quick so we can zoom in a little bit, but we'll come back. We'll pop her back and forth as we're going along. So let's see. There we go. All right.
Yes. All right. So
I'm going to move this just a little bit to the side so I can watch comments.
With our machines, so we have a 16, 19, and 21. And time again, I always get the question, well, what's the difference? What, you know, how big is the throat? Or, you know, tell me more about the machine, or why would I want this one over that one? So we're going to go over all of those details, the differences, you know, of those questions, and hopefully some more questions. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments. We'll be scanning through those, and you know, certainly hoping to get to all of the questions, and hope we don't miss any as well. So
now I'm gonna I wanted to pull these all the way forward so you can see just a little bit how, go down, there we go.
There we go.
So they'll stay set where they are. I wanted to show you the difference. Now these are all on the same carriage that comes with the Evolution Elite frame. We're showing it on the Elite frame, so you know when you're thinking about your different combo packages, the 16, so when we're talking about differences, right? The 16 can fit on all the frames we have, the 19 can fit on all the frames, and the 21 can fit on the Diva frames. The Evolution Elite, the Evolution Hoop is what you can put the 21 on. So right away, you know, people will say, how do I pick, right? What am I looking for? So the first thing is, what's your budget?
yes,
That's a big thing. But if you don't have the room, you can have all the budget in the world, but if you only have enough space for 5 feet, then this 10-foot frame is just
it's
inaccessible, right? Like
Yeah.
then you start taking doors off closets, and you start doing some other things. So yeah, so that's the first thing to think about is your budget and your space. Because again, you can have all the space in the world, but if
Yeah.
you don't have a big budget,
You
then
know,
that'll
it's
change what
pretty
you're working
limited.
on.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So the other thing about difference of the the Elite machines is the stitches per minute. I think that's the other part that's really different, right?
Yes. All right. So again, we have the 16X Elite, 19X Elite, 21X Elite, and so let's back up just one step. So the numbers that we mentioned is always going to equate to the length of the throat. So the 16 series will have the 16-inch throat, 19 series will have the 19-inch throat, 21 will have the 21-inch throat. Now the higher we go in that throat size, the machine is a little bit more, I don't want to say powerful, but faster.
A little bit faster, yeah.
A little bit faster.
Except for with the 19X Elite, it has the same as the 21X Elite. So the 2,600 stitches per minute for both of those, and 2,000 stitches for the 16X Elite. So you can see they're just a little bit faster. You're going to do the stitch regulations just a little bit differently. I'm going to pop behind the scenes just in a second. So just if I disappear, that's where I'm going. I don't want anybody to feel like what's happening. So
Yes,
I'll be right
yes.
back.
Now, all of these machines, all of our machines in general, will give you 4 stitch modes. So you'll have cruise, precise, manual, and based. Now, a lot of people might ask, why would I use one stitch speed over another. And I'm gonna pop over to the 19X, still a little bit blurry, I do apologize. But here we, in the select mode, we can see what stitch mode we want to select. So precise and cruise will always be the regulated stitch modes. Manual is just a manual speed, there's no regulation. And again, as fast as you can move the machine, that needle is gonna be moving up and down. But again, you kind of want to time the movement of the machine to help yourself regulate those stitches. Then of course we have a based mode. So with our frames, really you don't have to baste. We continue to baste because that's how we were taught to quilt. Whether it was our mother, our auntie, our grandmother, whoever taught us to quilt, told us to baste your quilts. Now, again, the frames, our frames, I should say specifically, are designed that you don't have to baste, but it is helpful in, especially with, depending on the project size, the type of material you're quilting, that sort of thing, just to help everything stay in place. So again, precise with this stitch mode. Once we engage the machine, that needle isn't moving up and down until we move the machine. So again, it's going to give you that even, consistent, regulated stitching, regardless as to how fast or how slow you're moving the machine. When we go into cruise, and with precise, we'll back up just a little bit. So if you're meandering, if you're maybe doing simple pantographs, bubbles, sometimes even feathers, that precise mode, it's just going, the machine is stitching with your movement. So you go, the machine goes, you stop, the needle stops. So again, it's a very precise stitching. When we go into cruise, think of cruise control on your car. You set cruise control, you're gonna be going down the road at a consistent speed until you touch the brake or do something different. So as soon as we engage the machine and press start, once we're on cruise, that needle is going to start moving up and down, regardless if we're moving the machine or not. So I would use cruise, and I'm just gonna disengage, turn the machine off because it is a bit loud. But I would use cruise if I'm micro stippling, if I'm filling in smaller areas, and if I really want that tight, intricate kind of stitching, on my quilt, that's when I'm going to use that cruise mode.
I like cruise mode too when I'm filling in a section, right? Like if I have the middle of a flower that I've done and I want it to be filled in, not start and stop, right? If you're just going from one side to the other back and forth, then you're not going to notice it. But if I'm filling in a circle, sometimes you need that loopiness in there so that it's not like all crazy all over the place. Yeah.
A newer to me technique, I should say that I heard about recently within I would say the last 6 months or so, and have tried on a couple small projects, is thread painting. So if you're thread painting, cruise is going to be the mode I would pick, because it's constantly going, making those stitches, filling in that area, and doing that thread painting, which can be so beautiful, on a quilt with whatever.
I'm thinking colors, the next time we're with So Silly, why don't we show a thread painting video? I'm going to pop Sharon in really quick again. Yes. Sharon, what do you think about doing a video with it so that we could show a different way of quilting the next time we have this event? What do you think?
I love that idea. I'm fascinated by the thread painting, and let's just see what you can do, Melinda, okay?
All right.
Well, and I love how, like with thread painting, I've seen it where it's just thread, right? Like they go back and forth, just thread, just thread, just thread. But recently, one of our internal educators, she did it where she combined the couching foot. So she did an outline with a couching foot, and then she filled it in with the thread painting. So we have lots of options we could do, but yeah. So everybody make sure that you're coming to our next one, which is November.
Do you remember the exact date? I know it's a Thursday.
Look at my calendar.
Okay, let me look at the calendar. November 14th.
Yes.
So yeah, I love that you talked about thread painting because I think it's a whole different way that you can
is.
quilt. I mean, you don't have to piece. You could just get one piece of fabric and work on there. But yeah, so let's do that because I think that would be so fun.
Yes. And you know, it looks so beautiful, you know, when it's done. And I don't know, it's just so cool, especially if you're doing like a wall hanging, maybe like a table runner, you know, so that it really pops and stands out. Definitely beautiful.
So you can see what Sharon says. She says, I've tried thread painting with my domestic machine, but would love to see it done with your long arm.
Yes. And you know, when we did it, when the educator did it, you know, she made it look so easy. And she used the Wonderfoot, which in my mind, I never kind of would have said, oh, I want to thread paint, but I want to use the Wonderfoot. But as I was watching her do it, I was like, that makes total complete sense.
Yeah.
You know, making it look so easy. And her project was so cute when she was done.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody come November 14th. Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to go, I'll be right back.
All right,
The
so again,
camera
that's
just a little
with
bit.
cruise. Again, that needle's just going to continuously move up and down, whether you're moving the machine, whether you're moving fast, whether you're moving slow. It's just going to continue that movement. Then, of course, we have the manual mode. Now,
Why do you have manual? If you've got stitch regulation. What do you think, Sharon? Why do you say that we have manual?
I don't know, I never use it. My stitch regulation.
I know,
me too. So, but our creative director of education, Carla, she does so many of her projects in manual mode, and I think for her, she can stitch faster. She has been quilting forever, ever and ever, and she has, you know, her movement, how fast she can move the machine compared to what percentage of the machine power she's using. She can self-regulate her stitches, and everything looks amazing. I'm not that good yet. I don't know if I will ever be that good.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's part of it, right? Whichever way you're quilting, right? If you're basting, we'll talk about basting in a minute. If you're needing stitch regulation for just everyday, regular, precise, if you're doing stitch in the ditch, those things for cruise control. But then if you are that person that has not had regulation or you just want to go fast, right? Because if we move these too fast, we'll get beeps, we'll get
a little red light.
And it'll tell me, hey, you're going faster than regulation. Well, with manual, you're never going to get that. And if you're like doing something that maybe like thread painting, where I would just want to go super fast because I'm filling in a section or something, I don't need it as stitch regulated because I'm going to be doing a certain speed. So yeah.
Yeah. So again, that manual mode, it's there for those that want to use it, that, you know, kind of want to unleash the full power of the machine, so to speak. And Jenna made a comment, you know, that if you're in a cruise mode and if you're going too fast, or even precise, if you're going too fast, you're going to get a machine beep or a blinking red light. Just for comparison's sake, because I know it's hard to visualize it without seeing it, but think about when you're driving your car and you're going around a curve. You have to slow down to get around that curve, otherwise you're gonna, you know, overshoot and you're in the next lane over. You know, so it's kind of correlated with, you know, the aspect when we're driving. You don't want to go too fast, you don't want to go too slow, you know, and that's exactly what the Cruising Precise is designed for, to keep you, you know, regulated within those speeds. All right, so we've gone over the different stitch options: cruise, precise, manual, and based. I'm a precise gal, sometimes cruise, depending on what I'm doing. On the touch screen display, again, we can always change that stitch mode. We can press start or stop right on the screen.
I'm gonna pop up this image right here. Let me get to that section so they can see a little bit better.
Yes.
So then you can see that screen easily there.
Yep. So also on this touch screen, again, as I was saying, we can press start stop. We can also press start stop on our handlebar. We can adjust our stitches per inch. We can increase, decrease. We can do that on the screen or on the handlebar. But on the screen, we could also have our jog forward and jog backwards. We have a single stitch and then a needle up, needle down. I'm going to be honest, for a long time, and I've been with Grace Company for about 3.5 years, but for a long time, even on our older machines, I never knew what the needle jog was. I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm not going to talk about it, but I think it's something we really don't talk about a lot. As a new quilter, we don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's
so
true.
Tell us, Jenna, what does that needle jog do?
It helps the needle just go bit by bit down so that if you have stopped and you left your needle up and say you got a phone call, or you didn't realize you didn't leave the needle in where you started, or you are moving the quilt and so it got adjusted that way, it will get right to that spot where your stitch is so that you're not hoping it's close. You can get it move, and then you can move your machine around so it's right in that spot, so you're going right where you started again.
Yes. So again, you have the jog backward, jog forward, and that's just the height of the needle getting as close to as possible to your last stitch. That way you're not overshooting or undershooting. You're lining up perfect on that last stitch.
There's one thing we don't talk about, and actually we have a comment here from Sharon who said, what machine would you recommend for someone that has never used a long arm machine? And I would say Grace Company's Qnique machines, and here's a couple reasons why. They're so easy to use, right? Like Melinda was demonstrating on the touch screen. They glide easily on the area, right? I'm only using my hand a little bit. I'm kind of not even 2 fingers, right? The other reason is you don't have to bring it in every year for maintenance. Once you buy it from Sharon, you don't have to call her next month or next year this month and say, okay, Sharon, it's ready for its yearly maintenance, right? And Sharon doesn't have to come out to your house and try and be like, oh, I have to help maintenance this machine. As long as you're oiling it the way that the instructions talk about, and you're cleaning out the lint, just do that basic cleaning maintenance, it's set. So you can just keep quilting and quilting and quilting and not having to worry about those kinds of things.
Right. Now, the key factor as to how we made that possible for customers with other machines, the motor, it's going to suck up any lint, any threads, any dust, any dander, anything that's airborne in your quilting area. As the machine's running, it's going to suck that anything and everything up. The motors in our machines are fully encased. So even as that motor is running, you're quilting along, it's not going to suck up any of that lint, any threads, dander, anything like that, being fully encased. And then of course everything's ball bearing, and greased and everything. So
and the oiling that you would do is down in the bobbin hook area, and then on the 19 and 21 you're going to be doing it up here. But on the 16, I'm going to open this up, and Melinda, and go grab the camera, kind of zoom in a little bit, if you'll show them that part.
Yeah, of course. All right, so when we open kind of the front of the machine, and again, we're just going to oil this bar. So I recommend a little oil. There's a little brush and you can oil around. Some people might even, drop it inside. But again, as long as you're oiling that area, and again, you don't have to use a ton of oil, just a little bit, any machine oil. You just want to make sure to keep those parts lubricated, so they'll continue to work as originally designed. All right.
And then when you click it just back in there, you just click it right back in. There's not like a lever or anything like that.
I stuck to the Velcro on the rail. All right, so again, very simple maintenance. If we go into that little hamburger menu and we go into help, these are topics that as you're at your machine, it's going to help, as you progress through your project. So there's topics: preparing to quilt. This tells you how to thread your machine, choosing your needle, winding your bobbin. We can go into the actual quilting, so setting your tension, pulling up the bobbin thread, pulling the thread after your tie off.
So it's basically like your instruction manual, not in your instruction manual, right?
Right. So yes, all of this information is in the instruction manual. But how often when we're quilting and we're at our machine, how often do we have our book with us, right there with us? I don't. It's tucked away somewhere safe, that's, so I don't lose it. If I step away from my machine to go get the manual, chances are I'm going to get distracted with something. Whether it's the dog, whether, whatever. I'm going to get distracted with something and then forget, excuse me, what I even needed the book for, that I needed help with. So have you ever experienced that, Sharon? Having a problem, stepping away, having to go find a manual, or even just taking a break and kind of resetting your mind to refocus? Do you ever feel like you kind of forget, oh, what did I need help with again?
Yes, and I do love the touch screen for that, and I show that to everybody that uses it. If you get stuck on something, that help menu, you can go through so many topics and answer just about any kind of question. It's like a troubleshooting guide. So yeah.
I liked your comment, Katie. Sharon, your friend behind you looks like he has a question.
He's dying to get.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. I have not looked into all the Halloween jokes yet. That's great.
Yes. So, just what you can achieve with having the right tools, to finish your quilts faster, easier, less stressful. I know as a beginner quilter, my first couple of projects, I stressed myself out, and we're always going to be our own worst critics, but me kind of psyching myself out, stressing myself out, I can definitely see my progression, becoming a better quilter. I'm not the best at all.
But it's all about practice.
Right,
and
it's
getting
the
there,
progression, it's being comfortable, learning, and just having fun with it. And just like with anything, as long as you have the right tools for the job, you can get that job done.
And one of the tools that I love on all the Unique machines is the bobbin winder.
Yes.
So it's on the back here on all the machines. It's a different motor than what you're doing for your needle. So technically you could wind a bobbin while you're sewing. So if you got automation, that's going to be a special we're talking about later with Sharon, you could be quilting automation and then run behind it and get your bobbins going. But
Yes.
the other thing that I like about these different machines is the different things, right? So our 16 has the lights in the throw area.
Yep. So it's hard to see. You can see the light.
It's
on
in
my
the light
hand.
section.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these particular 21s and 19s don't have lights, but we're looking forward to getting them. We're working on updating, right? Like that's one of our mission statements is innovation. We're always trying to innovate our products and because people will say like, well, I got this frame and it's this old, 15 years. do you still have the parts? So if you come to Sharon and say, hey, I have this old frame and I'd like the parts, Sharon's gonna tell you, it's time to get a new frame. Use the innovation, right? Whatever your space is, whatever your other areas are, you got to make sure that you're using the correct one for that. And so using a frame that's outdated is going to not be that tool that you're going to need.
Right, right. All right, so my next favorite feature, so you talked about the bobbin winder, you talked about the throat lights on the 16, you talked about the innovation with Grace products. If we go into the toolbox, on all of our X Elite models, we have a measure tool, calculator, bobbin estimator, edge warning, and project. Edge warning and bobbin estimator, hands down, are my two favorite features.
Yeah, now you can use edge warning on the X machines. So if you want a 16X or 19X, you still can get that edge warning system. It happens on all our Qnique machines except for the manual. But yeah, having that bobbin estimator is so great. I was recently quilting for a charity quilt event that we were doing, and I was just going to town, and I wasn't even looking at my screen, right? I'm looking at the quilt, and then I looked at my screen and went, oh, the bobbin's about to go out. So I stopped, and I thought, well, it's red. Is it really red? Did it just turn red? I wasn't really paying attention. So it's gonna be green if it's good, and then orange, and then red. And so I pulled out, I kid you not, 3 inches of bobbin thread left.
But how many of us, this happens,
You run out,
it
yeah.
happened, when I first started quilting, and it was so frustrating. I'm quilting along, and just focused, and then all of a sudden I realize I don't have any stitches. And then I stop and look back, and it's like, how long have I not had stitches? And I know my vocabulary can sometimes get very colorful. So I would have a few choice words to say. I'd go wind my bobbin, put it back in. I would have to, kind of take a mental break, walk away for a minute, come back, and then go back to where my stitches had stopped. Use that needle, jog forward, jog backwards, to get exactly where that last stitch was, and then begin quilting again. So that bobbin estimator
is so, yeah. How
Yes.
about you, Sharon? What's your favorite tool on the machine, or feature, or a different thing like that?
I do like the bobbin estimator. I just sometimes can kick myself when I forget to set it when I start a project.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, now it's estimated to, yeah.
Yes.
So that's a great tool.
Yeah.
The measuring is a great tool too. I like to be able to, measure how large, that quilt is. I know a lot of people, that do it maybe professionally, that's a really, really easy way to configure your price, You can just use your machine to do the measurements, to be able to calculate, your stitches per inch that you're going to charge for somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's just a really neat tool to me.
You brought up a perfect and excellent point, people that quilt professionally. So in that toolbox, there's a project mode. This is going to tell you, it's going to give you a counter for how long you've been working on a project. How many stitches have you done in this project? So aside from measuring the quilts, I know a lot of professional quilters or people that finish quilts, they're also, taking into consideration their time, how much thread they're using. So under that project tool, it's an excellent place to help keep track of those things and help you, kind of adjudicate what your pricing is going to be.
It's true. And sometimes you can just do it for fun. When I was doing that charity quilt, I was doing each strip as a different practice thing for me, right? And so sometimes I was doing the same kind of design several strips down. And so it was kind of fun. I would reset my project to see, am I making the same kind of swirl amount as I did on that other one? And did I do leaves the same way, or you know, random or microsibling, whatever it was that I was testing out pebbles. It was like, oh, how many stitches do I do on this line? Oh, that other one I did 300 and this one's only 259. So it was just fun too. So that's a really fun feature, even if you're not a professional.
Yes.
I think we talked about earlier though, when we're talking about height, I'm 5'6.5", so I'm officially the average height of a woman. And there are some times when I'm reaching too far. And so I love that all these machines have extendable handles, right? I could reach them out, I can turn them to the side. I've had people who like to quilt like this, right? They're quilting. I've seen people who like to quilt like this, straight up and down, or they put them totally upside down and they quilt that way. Whatever is comfortable for you.
You know
These
what
handles
else
will
I love
switch.
though?
Yeah.
So it is not only are the handles telescoping, or you can rotate them, but you can adjust kind of the pitch that the handlebars come out at. So you can adjust them higher, you can adjust them lower.
Yeah, so you can see here we have these three, and you might think, well, that's because this is this size and that is that size. Actually, we've adjusted all these handles so that they look differently. You can see the 19 is a little bit lower, the 21 and the 16 are a little bit higher. So you have that option as well. So it's super optional for whatever is your need for your quilting.
Right, exactly. So, you know, so many wonderful features. I can't emphasize enough, you know, the innovation that Grace Company has had in the last 3.5 years I've been here, let alone the last probably 40?
8 years.
Almost 40
well, 40 years for the company
Grace
almost,
Company,
but 8
right?
years since we started, 8 or 10, the machines, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna switch places really quick.
Yes.
So I can pop up, I wanted to pop up this comment by Paula. I think this is so true. Practicing free motion every day has really helped. I can definitely see a difference. So when you were
Yes.
talking about practice, doing things, it doesn't have to be super fancy that you're practicing, right? Like I was doing a charity quilt that I'm never gonna see again and see my mistakes. I've seen some
But
people.
you know what? Whoever gets the quilt, I doubt they're gonna, you know, judge that quilt and say, here's a mistake, here's a mistake. You know, it's a work of art. Every quilt is a work of art
And-
in its own respect.
And even if it's not, right? If it's a really bad one and you were sewing over stitches just to test things out, the Humane Society doesn't
Yeah.
care. Dogs and cats don't care if it's super fancy, right?
They just like the soft, fluffy.
Yeah, there's always ways that you can take your practice things and not just throw them away, but use them for lots of different
Right.
functions.
You know, I've brought up a few times,
Yeah.
you know, as a beginner quilter, especially. So this won't be it's not the first or last time I've said this. Again, we're going to be our own worst critic. We can't expect to be fabulous out of the box or
Right.
overnight. You know, and I've talked about 3 C's before, which I haven't quite heard anywhere else. But if somebody else has said it, I didn't know, but I'm saying it now. You know, the more that we practice, the more comfortable that we get, the more confident that we get, and the more creative that we get.
Oh, I like that. That's really good.
You know, so just like the comment said, practice every day. You don't have to, you know, like piano, you don't have to practice for hours, but just practice a little bit every day. You know, build those 3 C's. Before long, you know, you're going to be a great quilter.
Now, we've got some fantastic pricing from Sharon for this event. I just, before we got too far, I wanted to make sure we're talking about what that is. So let me pop this up here. This is a code. It's 10% off automation with a bundle. Now it says
Yes.
automation and bundles, but you have to get the automation with a bundle of a machine and frame.
Yes.
Now you can contact Sharon about this, but you can also use this code, QUILT10. on her website so that you can just get that automatically added and you get it all set. But if you're interested in doing financing, you can contact Sharon, right? And down here, we've been having it run the whole time. So Silly by Sharon, her location, her phone number, her website, her Facebook, so you can follow along. But yeah, Sharon, financing available, all those fantastic things, right?
Yes. I do have financing through Synchrony. I saw a couple comments on there, wish I could afford it, saving up for it. I can do interest-free for a year. Give me a call, let me know. And honestly, if you want 10% off automation or bundles, either way, I will honor it. So
Awesome.
a little bonus there. So if there's something that you are interested in, definitely give me a call. If it's something that you think if I save up for the next year, well, you could just finance it and make payments and be able to play right now. So that's how I had to get my first long arm. My first one was a 15R.
Ooh.
So that was the first one that I did, and I financed that and never looked back. So I was so glad that I did that, and that's just how I was able to get it done at that time too. Or just to be able to afford it at that time. So.
Yeah, and there's lots of people who've talked about the different machines and frames they already have. Use that to fuel your next one, right? If you sold that off to another person who's ready to start with that smaller group and you're like, oh, I've done the 15, but I'm ready for the 19 or 21. I'm ready for the Evolution Elite. Yeah, get the financing through Sharon and then sell that to someone else, and then you can get both benefits and help pay that off.
I found it very easy to sell my 15 setup.
Yeah.
Easy because people really love seeing the Grace, products, and if they can nab one, secondhand, it's not hard to sell. It's not.
No.
Yeah, it's true. And if someone ever is saying, well, I got this secondhand, you can work with Sharon, she can work with us to have it sent in. You can get it all looked at again, updated, if it's not too old of a machine. But there's just a fee to get it recertified. And then it starts that recertification, so it starts that warranty again. So you can send it in for a couple $100, get it recertified, and then it's all set and ready to go. If you're not quite sure who you're buying it from, like maybe they didn't maintain it, it's sitting in the back of someplace. So yeah, get with Sharon for anything. I mean, just come and talk to her about what your dream could be, right? Because what if Sharon had someone who brought in a machine and said, hey, my grandmother, my mother had this in their house, and I don't know what to do with it.
It's a paperweight.
Yeah, it's a paperweight, it's a boat anchor. And Sharon gets this opportunity and she's like, well, I'll pay you this for it. And so she brings it in, she gets it recertified, right? And now she has this machine that is a perfect price for you. But if you've never called Sharon and said, hey, let me know, this is what I'm looking at, this is what I can afford, then she can't help you make that dream come true.
Right. One thing, and Sharon, we've had a few conversations about this. One thing I love about your shop is the things that you do for the community in your area. Can you tell us a little bit about those things?
Well, we're active in Girl Scouts. I'm a program partner with the Girl Scout. That's one of the things we're really very proud of. We have a class of homeschoolers, so we deal with homeschoolers, in the area throughout the day. New soloists, they're fantastic and a lot of fun. I mean, they were singing Baby Shark the other day. It was a good time, and they're very interested in every project that we do. Trying to get something worked out with. There's a senior citizens home, very very near here that we are trying to get classes established with.
Awesome.
We're gonna work together on something hopefully in the near future. As it gets cold, I don't know if we will, but that's something that we like to do. things with the sewing community. I've got a boutique store that is just a few doors down that does a lot of our kits and stuff for our projects. One of our projects hanging behind me here, this bathroom on the wall, you see that? That's all done with boutiques, and the next one that we're going to be doing is all going to be with boutiques from our neighbor, so
That's cool.
We do a lot of, we try a little bit of everything.
That's so awesome. Now, we just had a question from Sharon. Sharon, where's your shop? So, Sharon, if you look down below, we've got, it'll come up
rolling
right now. So, Silly by Sharon, here's the address, 3920 Old Highway 94 South Street, South, St. Charles, Missouri, 63304. And there's her phone number on the screen. Write it down. Go to her website, So Silly by Sharon. Follow her on Facebook, So Silly by Sharon Learning Studio, because she does some really fun stuff, and you can follow along and do things like that.
And then come see us at the So Creative Quilt Guild show.
Well, before that, because that's on the 20th, right?
The 23rd and the
23rd and 24th. So before that, join us on November 14th. I think we've already established we're going to be talking about thread painting, so we're just definitely going to do stuff with that. But before we go, I want to make sure, one, you've got your Quilt 10 written down for that 10% automation and 10% off bundles, but we've got our other giveaway.
Oh, yes, the light bar. Oh, you know what? Before we get there, I do want to remind everybody, with any machine purchase, we have an awesome accessory bundle that's included. It's a new bundle, just started at the beginning of the month. I know there are some awesome True Cut bundles with cutters, rulers, True Grips, sharpeners, a light bar, thread. If you haven't used finesse thread, I really think you're missing out. So it's a polyester thread. It's spun to have the look and feel of cotton. It's a 50 weight. I love our thread. I love so many other threads too, but finesse thread is great.
And when you're using our machines, they really do help use it really well. But we're gonna pop up this luminous light bar.
Yes.
This is included if you're buying which frame with the machine bundle combo. So if you're getting a little Rebel or a 16 on a smaller frame, you'll get the 5 foot. But if you're getting the 16 on Evolution Elite, then you'll get the 10 foot. But we're gonna give it away. But if you didn't get a chance to win it, or you already have a machine and you're not getting the accessory bundle, contact Sharon. She'll be able to help you get that. This is a perfect Christmas present. It's great to use. I mean, even if you have great lighting, this is just that extra step. I love that Melinda always says, you can never have too much light.
Yeah, no such thing as too much light.
Yeah.
So let's get a drum roll going. And who's our winner? Diane Grissom? Yay! Congratulations. If I butchered the last name, I'm so sorry, Diane, but congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes, Allegra will be emailing you and Liz, who won our Quilters combo. So watch for that email from Allegra@graceframe.com. She's going to ask you for how the best way to ship it, where you want it shipped, all that kind of stuff. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for talking about the 16X Elites. Now, if we didn't cover something, there's something that you're like, oh, I had a question about that, contact Sharon. Again, her information is down here below. It's going across the screen. Go to her website, give her a call, send her an email. Contact her on Facebook. Just say, hey, I had a question about this, or I'm ready to purchase. Can we set up a time to discuss things? So yes, contact Sharon. She is a resident expert for you.
She is, and she has so much experience. I'm just at the tip of the iceberg, figuring out all of the experience, but everything that I have seen and heard, it's like, this is amazing. Sharon, you are amazing. So thank you, for doing such a fabulous job in your shop with our customers. We can't be here without you. So thank you. Thank you for that. And tune in next time, the 14th. And then, of course, come down on the 23rd and 24th to visit us at the So Creative Quilt Show.
Well, thanks everybody. We'll see you. This code Quilt10, how long is it good for, Sharon?
That is good for 1 week, and I want to add to that, the bundle prices are already on my website, discounted, so this is an additional 10% off of
Ooh,
Awesome.
That's
that.
fantastic.
Out there. This is
Yeah.
This is a real sale. This is the real deal. So
This is the time, if you've been thinking.
This is like better, this is as good or better than a Black Friday,
Yeah.
Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday.
I'd like to throw in one more thing.
Oh.
If you do this week, I will ship it to your house and I will not charge you to do it.
Wow,
Awesome.
free shipping. That's amazing.
Awesome.
Oh man, okay, if you guys have thought at all about upgrading your machine, getting the machine in now, Sharon's having the best prices. Contact Sharon. You're going to have a great time and a great resource because she's so knowledgeable about so much quilting. But thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
We'll see ya.